Hello students, I am Dr. Aram Khan. Hope you all are doing well. Our today's topic is hypothesis, in which we are going to discuss the basic concepts and the testing part. So let's begin. Coming to the contents of our session, we will be covering the meaning of hypothesis, what exactly is hypothesis, some definitions of hypothesis, then the main characteristics of hypothesis. Along with it, the basic concepts of hypothesis, in which we will be covering what is null hypothesis and what is alternative hypothesis and the basic difference between both of them. Then next, the exact meaning of level of significance and what are type 1 and type 2 errors, and lastly two-tailed and one-tailed test and the two types of one-tailed test, that is left tail test and right tail test. So let us begin. Now, what is hypothesis? In simpler terms, we can say that hypothesis is a tentative solution to a problem. Let's say I am defining a problem, and before finding the results, I am just formulating a statement. For example, say the problem is urbanization is more common in smaller cities than big cities. And based on this problem, I am formulating a hypothesis. Say smaller urban centers are growing at a faster speed. So this is a kind of tentative solution and we have not yet done any solution. So this can be either true or false. And at the end, I will see whether I approve this hypothesis or disapprove. The definitions given by Professor Morris and Professor O. Johnson clarifies the meaning of hypothesis more precisely. Now let's discuss the characteristics of hypothesis. First, hypothesis should be clear and precise. If the hypothesis is not clear and precise, the inferences drawn on its basis cannot be taken as reliable. Second point, hypothesis should be capable of being tested. Some prior study may be done by a researcher in order to make hypothesis a testable one. Third, hypothesis should state relationship between variables. Fourth, hypothesis should be limited in scope and must be specific. A researcher must remember that narrower hypotheses are generally more testable. Next, the hypothesis should be stated as far as possible in simpler terms so that the same is easily understandable. But one must remember that simplicity of hypothesis has nothing to do with its significance. Next point, hypothesis should be consistent with most known facts. That is, it must be consistent with a substantial body of established facts. Next, hypothesis should be amenable to testing within a reasonable time, as one cannot spend a lifetime collecting data to test it. Last point, hypothesis must explain the facts that gave rise to the need for explanation. This means hypothesis must actually explain what it claims to explain and should have an empirical evidence. Now coming to the basic concepts which are important for understanding the hypothesis testing. First one is null hypothesis. The null hypothesis attempt to show that no variation exists between variables or that a single variable is no different than its means. Simply it means that null hypothesis shows nothing. Nothing means there is no relationship between two variables. For example, say I am taking or stating a null hypothesis that there is no relationship between eating ice cream and having a temperature, or I can say eating ice creams has no relation with running a temperature. The null hypothesis is generally symbolized as H0. Now, the alternative hypothesis. An alternative hypothesis states that there is statistical significance between two variables. Alternative hypothesis is opposite of null hypothesis. Taking the previous example of ice cream and running temperature, one alternative hypothesis can be that eating ice cream has a relationship with running a temperature. So, this is alternative hypothesis which is opposite of null hypothesis, and the alternative hypothesis is symbolized as H1 or HA. The null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis are chosen before the sample is drawn. As shown in the slide, we can have three alternative hypotheses, which are first not equal to, second greater than, and third less than the chosen null hypothesis. Alternative hypothesis is usually one which one wishes to prove, and null hypothesis represents the one which we are trying to reject. The next concept is level of significance. The significance level means maximum value of the probability of rejecting null hypothesis when it is true. Actually, it means or represents the risk with which the researcher is willing to accept type 1 error. Now, what is type 1 error we'll be seeing in the coming slides, and generally it is 5% level of significance which a researcher is willing to take. Now let's see what is type 1 and type 2 errors. First is type 1 error. When null hypothesis is true and we reject the null hypothesis, it is called type 1 error, and when null hypothesis is not true or it is false but still we accept the null hypothesis, it is called type 2 error. Type 1 error is called alpha and type 2 error is called beta. In the table shown, it is clearly visible when type 1 error and type 2 error occurs, and the correct decisions are also shown. That is, when H0 or null hypothesis is true and we accept it, it is a correct decision, and when H0 or null hypothesis is false and we reject it, both are correct decisions. In the context of hypothesis testing, these two terms, two-tailed and one-tailed test, are quite important and must be clearly understood. On the basis of hypothesis and subject to the value of alpha, there will be a region under the normal curve known as rejection region or critical region. Either the hypothesis will be rejected or will not be rejected. So, if the rejection region lies at both the tails, then it is called two-tailed test. Thus, in two-tailed test, there are two rejection regions, one on each tail of the curve. In this slide, the two-tailed test is shown through normal probability curve. In the picture, the acceptance and rejection region is shown in case of two-tailed test. If the significance level is 5% and two-tailed test is to be applied, the probability region of rejection area will be 0.05, which is equally splitted on both tails of the curve as 0.025 area, and the acceptance region will be 0.95 area as shown in the above curve. If we take mean equals to 100 and if our sample mean deviates significantly from 100 in either direction, then we shall reject the null hypothesis. But if sample mean does not deviate significantly from the mean, in the case we shall accept the null hypothesis. The one-tailed test would be used when we are to test, say, whether the population mean is either lower or higher than some hypothesized value. In such test, the critical area of distribution is one-sided, so that it is greater than or less than a certain value, but not both. And how to know if a test is one-tailed or two-tailed? The answer is very simple, that one-tailed test has the entire 5% of the alpha level in one tail, either left one or right tail, whereas the two-tailed test splits the alpha level or rejection level in half. In the normal probability curve shown in the slide, say the rejection region is located to the extreme left of the distribution, and a left-tailed test is conducted when the alternative hypothesis HA contains the condition that alternative hypothesis HA is less than a given quantity. So we can say that hypothesis test performed if the population parameter is suspected to be less than the assumed parameter of null hypothesis is a left-tailed test. And now in this slide, a right-tailed test is shown, and the rejection region will be on the right tail of the curve as shown in the diagram. A right tail test is where your hypothesis statement contains a greater than symbol. So, a hypothesis test performed if the population parameter is suspected to be greater than the assumed parameter of the null hypothesis, it is a right tail test. Alright, so we can say that one tail test can be either a left tail test or a right tail test, and a two tail test simply show a difference, and in a two tail test extreme values above or below are evidence against the null hypothesis, and generally one tail tests are generally preferred as one tail tests are more powerful than two tail tests. With this, we wrap up our session of discussing the basic concepts of hypothesis. Hope you find this video helpful. Signing off, this is Dr. Iram Khan, Associate Professor at Vision School of Management, Chittorgarh. Thank you very much.